Hello everyone, my name is Nicole Miyuki and this is Let's Make Art, and we letter a new project every week together. And we are doing something a little bit different on a different type of paper. Different's good. We are doing a banner project, and the quote that I picked is "You are enough." I thought this was a great one to lead us into, we're doing something new. This is our third one together. So I'm excited to dive on in. The supplies that we're using. I'm going to be using a black Crayola Super Tip, but if you also have a Sharpie, you can use that. You can use, if you have the black Tombow marker, you can use that. But I just want to show, I'm going to be using black and a silver gel pen. I realize you guys might not be able to see that, but that's for Keenan.
Thank you.
That's kind of fun.
That is fun. Very satisfying.
Sounds like a kid. So just black and silver. If you want to use other colors, you can. Just know that we're going to be using craft paper. So some colors might not show up as well. That, and then those are the two pens are going to be used. Like I said, craft paper. So if you have our subscription box, if you don't, you can still get it. You can also get this as a kit. So we have this available on our website, and the craft paper comes with it. I am skipping around. Those are the supplies. Steps. There are 6 steps to this one. The first one is I'm going to teach you guys how to do 4 different banners. This is a download sheet that you can get for free. This part you can get for free on our website at letsmakeart.com. So this is step 1. Step 2 is we're going to cut the craft paper. So if you notice, this is what the paper comes like, but I'm going to make mine a little bit smaller to get double the banners. So that's the second step. The third one is we're going to visualize how you want to draw your own banner at home. The fourth step is the black marker. You can flip this back over. We're going to do the black. The fifth step is silver with your lettering. And then the 6th step is the silver with the pattern. So I'm going to show you guys all that. Okay, so first step, learn how to draw banners. There is a practice sheet that you can draw your banners on. Maybe I'll do that here to show you as well. But there are 4 different banners that comes on this sheet that I wanted to show you guys. Am I okay, Spot?
You're in a good spot. Pull it back down a little bit.
Okay. There are 4 different banners that I'm going to teach you. The 2 that I'm going to go through for the final project are these top 2. So I want to show you during this practice time the bottom 2, just so you can see options and see which ones you want to do on your own. So when it comes to banners, we are drawing the folding part of it. So you're going to kind of have to take a step back and help visualize what we're doing. The first one is actually, I realized this is the "You Are Enough" one. So I'm going to draw this one. That was my bad.
It might help if they have a ribbon next to them.
Yes.
We tried to find a prop, and it did not pan out.
It's okay. If you have a ribbon, fold your ribbon and try this out at home.
It'll help visualize.
Yeah, thanks. So for this banner, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. I'm going to break it down for you into strokes so that it helps you get there. So you're going to draw 2 parallel curves. So I went up and then I went down. You can also go down and then up if you want as well. You're going to draw 2 curves and then you're going to connect them. Is this dark enough, Keenan?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And then you're going to draw, so you're now drawing the ends of these banners. So think about it, if this is the front part, and then we're going to go behind and draw the 2 ends of it. So I'm going to draw a line here and a line here. And then this is where you can decide how thick your ends want to be. It depends on how far away you want to imagine the back of your banner to be. So if they're pretty close, if it's folded and it's pretty close, you will want to visualize and think that this amount of space about should mimic that. However, if you want, so you can notice on here, mine's are a little bit smaller, and that's because I drew it where it was a little bit spaced out. So maybe I'll do that on this one. I'll make this one a little bit smaller so you can see It's gonna look a little bit wonky, but that will help you see that there's options to it. Yeah, okay. So that is the next step, and then you're gonna draw ends if your banner is cut like that. And then the last step is if you're looking at this, so it looks like 3 separate pieces. However, if you take this corner to this corner, so what's happening is you can even curve this if you want. But it's curving into that and then folding that way. So the same thing here is I'm gonna take the end of this to the corner here that is visible to me. And then you color that in because it's behind, so it's casting a shadow. So like that. So it looks like it's doing the wave. That's one banner. The second one I want to show you, so I did, wow, I was all off. So these 2 are the final ones I did. So I'm going to show you how to do this one. For this one is, if you had, it's more of like it even looks like more of a spiral staircase. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna draw yourself the front panels, and you can decide maybe they're all 3 the same size. I made mine to create some visual hierarchy and just a little bit different to make them different sizes. So I'm gonna draw, and I drew them at an angle. So you'll notice that on these ones, I drew them more straight, whereas these ones I had a little bit angled, just to show that you can vary it up. So this one's, I made it so that it doesn't have any curve. They're just straight, but they're angled rectangles with a little bit of space in between. And then what you're gonna do is you want them to connect. So if you think about it, let me connect these so it's more helpful for you guys. I'm gonna take this end and connect it to about here.
Can you pull that to the left like 3 or 4? Yes.
Yes, sorry. And then I'm gonna take, so this corner goes to a part of the banner, and this corner is gonna go to this part of the banner. What you're thinking about is when you're doing this, try and make these lines parallel. They don't need to be straight. If they're curved, it's okay, but try and make them parallel. So like that. The reason why is if you decided to make it like that, it doesn't feel like it's behind it, and it looks like it's a different size. So they look a little bit wonky. So to help your eye, make those 2 lines parallel like that. So I'm gonna do the same thing on this part, where I'm gonna take this corner, come about there, and then take this corner and be parallel to this line and come about there. And then for the ends, and take the corner. So I'm essentially mimicking this part right here, the same thing, but I'm cutting it off right there. So I'm gonna take this corner and just come up a little bit, and this one right there, and come up like that, and then stop it. So the same thing here, I'm gonna mimic this corner right here. So I'm gonna come down a little bit, make it about the same size. So all of these are about the same size. It's okay if they're not exactly. And then cut it off like there. So from there, if you want, you can make these a different part. So essentially this is the back of the banner. So maybe if this was a pattern banner and this was one pattern and then the back had a different one, these would all be the same because that's the back, and then these are the front. So those are the 2 different ways that you can do it. The other 2 ways I'm gonna now show you for, actually, we're gonna cut the paper first. I'll show you on the 3rd step, but I want to first cut my paper. So I really like, if you have a paper that's small enough, this is just a scrapbook cutter that I like to have handy. How much was half? This was about 4. So I'm just gonna cut my paper. If you want, you can keep it the same size, but these are really handy. Okay. Now, Visualizing when you have your paper, you can visualize how you want to design your own. If you want to do a longer quote maybe, so this one I did a different quote. I said, "You're beautiful, yes you." This one I want to send to a friend. So you can decide how you want to see yours. So when you're looking at your own, do you visualize your quote like this? Or do you visualize it more horizontal? Maybe this is your time to do thumbnail sketches like I've taught before. Feel free to pause if you need to figure out what you want to do. But I'm gonna show you how you can do those two different ones. So the first one I'm gonna do is vertical. So I chose this one. You also have, remember this is a guideline if you get tripped up on how to draw a banner. So this banner that I did is similar to this one, the one that we just did. So I'm gonna draw this. So when I'm doing this, I'm using my pencil. Don't be afraid to use your pencil. It's okay, you can do that. And I am going to start about here. So I'm just gonna sketch this out. So this one I'm curving my lines really slightly. I'm gonna add a little bit of space right there. That even feels, so if it's a little bit off center, you can erase it. This is why I love the pencil. If you are used to using a light box, sometimes when you have darker colored paper, it might not show up. That's why sometimes pencil is what you need to do. But the great thing is that we are doing this over with a black marker, so it's okay if you have pencil marks underneath. We're gonna go over it. Okay, so draw 4 lines that are parallel to each other, make them into your rectangles, and then I'm gonna do the same thing that I taught you, where I'm gonna take this corner and I need to attach it to this part of the banner. So I'm gonna do it about right there. So what's happening is that this amount of space is about the same height as that, because it's the same width as it. So that's what you're visualizing. It's okay if it's not exact. You don't need to go out and get a ruler. And then I need to make these parallel. And so right here, I'm gonna curve this. So what's happening was when you're looking at this one is this is coming around and curving. So this isn't a hard stop, it's a curve. The same as here. So I might need to erase this a little bit and curve that. And that one I made curved. So let me erase this. And so when I'm looking at this, actually, if you guys can see, this is a lot skinnier than this, and I want to pretend like this is a little bit closer. So this feels really far away and they feel kind of too separate to me now looking at this. So I'm gonna open it up a little bit. So to do that, so I just need to move this, that might be too much. Move that over a tad, and then I need to make this parallel because it went in a little bit now. So I need to make this one a little bit wider. There, that feels better. Okay, and then I need to draw the bottom and the top. So I'm gonna do the same thing where I'm gonna curve and take this corner and come out. You can decide if this is a long one, maybe you add another curve, and then I want it to be about this same width. So I'm gonna visualize.
This is very satisfying to watch.
Really?
Yes.
Can't see it come to life?
Yeah, see it, watch it coming back to life.
That's a little wide.
I decided to try and draw one on a sticky note.
I want to see.
I didn't do this one right, but I did the other one fairly okay.
Good job. You
Thanks.
should show everyone.
Well, that's not necessary.
Okay, last one. So I'm going to take the top. So I'm going to go from the corner, come up, about the same width. There. That feels great. Okay, that's that banner. I'm going to show you the other one now. So for this one, when I was doing this one, I had this quote, "You're beautiful, yes you." So the visualization that I'm telling you to do, what I did was I was thinking in my head, "Yeah, you are beautiful, yes you." So that's, I can do that where maybe it has 5 different front-facing parts, but I felt like beautiful, because it's such a long word compared to all the other ones, it would have looked a little bit off. So when I was visualizing, I thought, what if I turn this horizontal for this one and I emphasized beautiful, and I made this a lot longer banner horizontally. So that's what I did. So to do this one, which for reference is this guy. Good?
Yes.
Okay. Is when you were looking at this, if you notice, this comes down, I'm trying to think on this one, it comes down and then comes up. So if I started it too high here, I would come down and come up, and it would be all the way over there. So I need to move a little bit further than I may think, and if this happens to you. So I need to come up a little bit lower to come up, so that feels a little bit centered. So if it helps even, maybe you just draw this line first. So it comes in the center. I need to draw darker for you guys. So then what's happening is it's curving. There's 1, 2. So I'm going to add a curve here. 1, 2, or 1, 2. So curve up like that. So that's the first step of that one. Then I'm going to come down. So now I need to draw the front, or in this one, this actually, the end is in front and this end is behind, which we haven't done before, because all the other ones, the banner part has been the sole front facing part. So I'm going to draw that. So I'm connecting this, and I'm going to connect from right here. So this curve part, I'm going to bring that down. And then I need to draw this. So this is the back part. So this will help you visualize it. I know it feels really weird in the beginning because you don't see it quite yet, but I needed to connect both of these curves to something so it anchors them. And then I'm going to draw this same line. I'm going to draw it parallel. Right there. And then to draw these ones. So like I said, this is in front, this is in back, and this is in the middle. So because it's behind this guy, I need to draw it behind, or pretend like it's behind it. So I'm going to come up a little bit. I'm going to visualize about this much space and about this much space. Like that. And then this is the opposite, where this one needs to be in front. So I actually need to make this a little bit longer. So this line's in front, and then I'm going to bring that up. So when I'm looking at that, if you want even, I'm going to emphasize and make this a little bit bigger actually. So it's a little bit small, so I'm just going to erase this a little bit, make this curve a little bit deeper, which means I just need to move this over a little bit. So then you can see it. That helps. I drew it really small. So now, can you see that, Keenan? Does that help see? So yeah, so it goes behind, and then the middle, and then this one comes in front. So it's a little bit longer than my original one, but that totally works. Let me erase this for you guys. Okay. Oh, forgot this step. I'm going to draw this part. I'm going to color that in. So there, now that will help you see it actually a little bit more. Okay, so what step are we on? 4, black marker. Like I said, if you don't have the Crayola Super Tip, you can use a black Sharpie. Or if you want to make this a blue banner, you can do that. I'm going to go over it in black. I'll just start with this one. So you have a few options. First, what I suggest doing is simply just outlining it. So I'm gonna outline both of these, and we can fast forward because I don't need to talk.
Do you want to push that up while you outline?
Yes. Is that good? So I'm just outlining. I'm not gonna color in either of these spots. I'm just gonna simply outline for the first part. Okay, we're gonna unpause for a second. I'm just gonna keep going, but that's gonna mess you up. But I wanna talk because on this one, if you saw what I did was I drew this line and then I curved into it. So I'm gonna do it again. So on this one, I'm gonna draw this line, then I'm gonna curve into it. So that will help it feel like one connection, like that. So right here, instead of having a hard stop, and make that a curve. It's okay if these have more hard corners, but you can even curve that a little bit so it doesn't feel like a rectangle with sharp edges. It's more of a curve into it. So then this is the last one.
In my attempt to draw this ribbon,
yeah,
I also noticed that there are a lot of hard turns, and I decided to curve them because
Nice.
it looked rough.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it still looks rough, but much better than it did.
You did good. I will. Okay, so yes, so do you see how those curves helped it just a little bit kind of roll into it? Okay. Talking about curves actually. This is okay if you have a hard stop right there, that's okay. If you want to curve it a little bit, you can, but it's more this curve that will help the eye if it's a little bit curved rather than straight. Okay, so once you have it outlined, you have a few options of how you want to design this. So you'll notice on this one, I left it as if the banner was craft, and then I did my lettering in black. So we're gonna leave that one. But for this one, you'll notice that the banner is black. The back of the banner is the pattern. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fill this all in with my black marker, and then we're gonna do the lettering in silver after. Okay, so I colored that in. That looks really cool. So since I have my black marker in hand, I'm just gonna draw and fill out this one really quickly. Sorry guys, I keep switching. But I just wanna show you all the things. So I'm gonna, since I have black in my hand, I'm gonna draw beautiful right here because I have that here. I spoke too soon.
We just got some buddies doing some construction next to us, and they're doing a great job, but it's the only time we can film.
So if you hear that, that's not Keenan in the back.
No, I'm not just hitting things in the background.
Like, what is a videographer doing?
I'm trying to draw some ribbons.
So what I'm doing is I did the word in pencil just to make sure I fit it, and then I'm gonna go back over this in pen. So when you're doing this, you can decide if you want to follow the thin on the up, thick on the down, or create faux calligraphy and make it a little bit thicker on the down strokes. Maybe I'll do that just so you guys can see. Or you could try a different style of lettering. You can do it in script if you'd like. It is all up to you. This is your piece of art. So I need to make this a little bit thicker. So if you're not familiar with faux calligraphy, we actually have a beginner lettering series that goes over it a little bit more. But that's what we're doing here this time is we're just using regular markers and making it have that thin and thin stroke afterwards. So that's that. Now, step 5, silver gel pen. I'm really excited. This is a gel, so gel pens are a little bit different because you'll notice that the ink is all inside and then it's just coming off. So it might feel like a regular pen, but you can see the silver metallic on it. I'll just finish this one and we're gonna bring it all home. If you want, you can still use your pencil and sketch out your whole quote. So on this one. Since I had UR, maybe you continue to do this all in block, or for this one, I thought it'd be cool if it pretends like my Y went behind it, and I mixed up and I did this in the script lettering. You are beautiful. And for
beautiful is true.
That was good. So, sorry, I was listening to Keenan singing and I lost track of what I was saying. I was saying, you notice that I don't always connect the ends of my Y's. So I connected it here, actually, my Y to my O, but for this one, I didn't because I liked the thought of having it curve into that space. So that's why I did that. This got a little bit close, so I'm just going to erase this a little bit. Like that. So I curved the ends of mine. So I did that, and then I'm gonna go over this with my silver gel pen. So with gel pens, if they ever don't work, just get a scratch piece of paper and draw on it. Sometimes they just get caught and you need to get the ball, I believe it's a ball inside, rolling a little bit. Even if that doesn't happen, for some reason, writing, I know this, I'm an artist, so I always have paint on me everywhere, or pens. But for some reason, the pads of your fingers or anywhere on your skin helps it go. I don't know why. It's the biggest when I'm in a bind. I need to just figure it out. So
Is it the oil?
I don't know if it's the oil plus because it's softer, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah. I could be making that up and maybe it just happens to work, but it works.
I endorse this fun fact.
Fun fact. So what you could do for this is simply, I'm just going to do one word so you get, while I'm talking. So this is the Fauxligraphy that we're going to do. So you're going to do it once in your monoline, just outline it. And then I'm going to add the thick downstrokes. So if you guys can see the difference. This is after, before, and after. So now what I'm going to do is my eye is going to remember, and I'm going to, or not my eye, my brain's going to think thin on the up, thick on the down. So I'm going to make this part thicker. So then you can color that in after if you'd like.
If you push that up, we can see it in the side camera.
Oh, that'll be great. So I'm going to make this part down because I'm going to go thin on the up, thick on the down, thin on the up, thick on the down. So color that in, thin on the up, thick on the down. So you're just coloring in, you're just making it a little bit thicker. Thick on the down here, thin on the up, thick on the down there. So that is how you do that. And even though I can see my pencil line through, I'm gonna erase it at the end, so don't worry about it. So we're going to zoom, and or zoom on, zoom.
Zoom on. Zoom on.
I'm gonna finish this.
That is your superhero
Okay,
call
bye.
sign now.
Zoom on. Okay, go. Okay, so I finished doing all of that, and you know this is the beauty of everything and doing this even on camera. I realized this is so much lower than I had originally wanted to, but you know what? It's okay. To fill, if this ever happens to you and you look at it and you're like, oh, that's a little bit off, fill in this space. Maybe you draw flowers, or you know what? I'm just gonna do this. Just fill in the space. You. That's emphasizing you. Yeah?
Yeah.
So don't worry, you can make things work if this happens to you. Don't beat yourself up over it. But the last thing I want to show on this one was I'm going to erase this part, and I'm just going to, for fun, just fill in the back in silver so it just has a fun little pop. And then if you want, you can erase the back. I can do that later. But you're good to go. Actually, I love that.
I do too.
Oh, make things work. Okay, so that's that one. Now, The other one that I was working on was this one. So instead, where the first one I did my lettering in black, this lettering, obviously I can't do it in black, I'm going to do it in silver. So you can do the same thing and use your pencil. Will this work? Yeah. If you'd feel more comfortable sketching it first. So I'm doing this in block. I decided to do that in block. And then this one I decided to do it with a script. So this is the same thing where I'm trying to think what went through my head, but I think that I didn't connect this G now looking at this, because if you look at this, this curves under, and then I just didn't connect my H as well, and then I added a flourish to mimic it. So it kind of hugs it in a nice, comforting way, because you are enough. So I did it like that. I realize you might not be able to see what's happening. It's okay, I'll go over it.
You can.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
Okay. I also wanted to mention that if you are when you are trying to figure out your lettering, this is also just for reference that I created for you guys. So this one is straight lettering, so all of my letters are like this, whereas this one is angled, where all the letters are like that. So you can mix it up. I realize on this one, UR is straight and enough is angled. So you have the freedom to be the designer of it. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Okay. When you are doing this, this is going to be very satisfying because it's going to pop very beautifully. So I'm going to do the same thing where I'm going to do it first, and then I'm going to add my thick downstroke after and color that in. So the interesting part is that when you are coloring in with this, the gel part it glides really easily. Just know that it's a new type of medium that you're working with, so it will feel a little bit different. I'm trying to explain what it feels like. On this type of pen, it comes off a lot quicker. Not that that makes any difference, but just know it's gonna feel different than the marker. It's gonna glide. Okay, zoom on. Bye. Okay, before we finish this up, I figured out what it is. You don't have to press that hard, like I said before. So I'm actually, Keenan, can you zoom in on this? So what I was gonna say is I'm not actually pressing that hard. If you look at the tip, I'm just lightly grazing, and it flows, like Keenan said, very easily.
It's like a smooth flow.
Yeah. That's why I think it's interesting, because right when you just very briefly glide over the paper, it will come off. Okay, boom. Now, last final step is if you want to add any patterns. So for this one, I thought when I'm looking at this, felt a little bit bare, and so I decided to create a pattern, and because I love this silver pen, I just drew it as lines. So I'm just gonna draw lines across. You can draw them at whatever angle you want. I would just keep them pretty consistent.
Every time I see lines, I think of sheet music, like for pianos or violins or guitars or whatever.
Yeah.
But a really cool idea would be if you wanted to switch up the quote, you could say "You are musical," and you could do 5 lines and put like a treble clef on there. And the bass
Is that
clef.
how many lines it has? 5?
Yeah, yeah. A grand staff has 10 lines, but typically sheet music for bass and a melody, they have 5 each for the treble clef and the bass clef.
So you're saying draw 5 here and then draw.
Yeah.
That would be so cool.
That'd be sweet. And the shape would be good with the ribbon.
Maybe Susan will do it and her kids. Wait, is that
treble
for
clef?
piano?
It's for everything.
Okay.
That'd be perfect.
I am not musically inclined. Yes. Maybe Susan will do it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. Hi, Susan. And James and Daniel.
That's right.
You get a shout out. Okay. that was it. Whoa, that was actually a pretty quick one. There were so many different fun learnings in this one. We went over 4 different types of banners. This was our first time lettering on a different colored paper. If you want to play with this, you can do this on your white craft paper, or white paper. You don't have to do it on craft paper. This was just something different that I wanted to give you guys. So I would love to see what you make. If you do something creative like Keenan said, there's so many different ways you can use banners to create your own art and share it with others. So we have a Facebook group called Let's Make Art Lettering that you can join. And then we also have an Instagram called Let's Go Make Art. We are a big community here. We'd love to see what you create, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.